2, and
What about my sweat equity?
Howdy toddy.
Sweat equity.
no, it's not.
Sweat equity. My sweat equity. My sweat equity. What about my sweat equity?
Yeah, what about it?
What about it? What about it, Eric Reginger?
I'm hard at work, laying bass lines, make our own theme song. I'm gonna rap it.
Dude, it's so hard to make music when you have no music ear.
I know.
No, I'm not saying you. I definitely have zero.
I'm just really hoping for artificial intelligence to step in and guide me.
I'm trying to do it like a math problem. That's all I got.
It is a math problem. BPMs, beats per minute.
Yeah, we want. All right. Let's try to go over the criteria. What we're looking for in a theme song. If anybody's listening wants to join in on helping us, we're all ears. Literally all ears. Get it? Okay. John Paul producing behind the glass. Give a shout out.
Thank you.
And shout out to our other producer. I'm going to call it producer, not intern anymore, because
You've been promoted, buddy.
Joseph, not here, but he's been helping behind the scenes and
Working real hard for us. We appreciate it.
got that wide dick. So, ladies, you know.
I'm glad you remembered. I thought about that the other day. I was like, guy's busting his ass, and we don't ever give him credit for
I
it
know
on
he's
the show.
doing a lot, and he's a good photographer too. So if anybody local to the Tampa Bay area, or you want to fly him in if you're in Milwaukee or something,
Sure.
you know,
Bet he'll be really psyched for that Milwaukee hookup you got for him.
hey man, he'll do it. He's a hustler, man. I like having people around, just in general, even if it benefits me zero, to have people around that are just doing stuff.
Yeah, especially for what we're doing.
Yeah, and he reached out and was like, I want to be a part of what y'all got going on. We're like, yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, we've talked about it before, just having this office. Like, we don't have to have this office, you know.
In a way, yeah. You don't need it for a digital agency, technically.
Right. To do the work we're doing, you don't have to have an office.
Well, I've done a cost benefit on it, right? And take this studio out of it. Look, how about this? We all do cost benefit in our head. We just don't call it cost benefit.
Sure.
Because that's the nerdy business term, right? But you're weighing risk, reward, whatever you want to call it. Cost benefit is kind of like, basically, is this going to be good for me?
Yeah, any decision, even if it's microseconds of cost-benefit analysis, boringness.
But for having an office for a digital agency, I have had feedback from clients that have been like, yeah, because I wanted to get their real opinion after we've finished up. And they are like, yeah, I do like coming in here to be able to have a private conversation in person if they're local.
Sure. Yeah, that's true.
And there has been times where we've had to do shit on the fly, SWAT team style. There's been legal stuff where people break up with a company and we have to get all their stuff. We call it SWAT team work, where you just have to be in here, war room it out for a little bit.
Sure.
That might have happened a lot more before you came around, but
we're so much better organized now.
We are.
Swatting people.
But I'm saying there's benefits to the reason I look up local freelancers to hire is because there is an advantage to being in a room with everybody for a little bit. The remote working thing is not as good as we think it is.
No, it's not.
This is something I just hit y'all with in Slack, in our Sweat Equity Slack channels, and I was like, I've been pitching this bit around just to see if it has legs.
Get the crickets ready.
Yeah, get it ready. I gave you that setup just so you had the soundboard ready.
I got my finger on it. Go ahead. Give me the bit.
It's just the premise. That's all it is.
Okay, what's the premise? Sorry, okay, it's working. Good.
I just want to see if this theory holds water,
Okay,
because
go
it's
ahead.
happened in my life. Every woman in my life. Okay, that's a little too much cricket.
I'm trying to discourage you. Okay, go ahead. What's the premise? Every woman, something.
Every woman in my life that I love, whoever I text with, we're not they read it in whatever mood they're in.
Yeah.
Women read text messages in whatever mood they're in. And if you're listening to this, you think it's you. This is an aggregate of my whole life of 15 years of texting.
Do you think it's just women?
I think it's more. Well, I think it's dudes now too, but I only know that dude side because dudes are chicks now.
Dudes are chicks now.
Well, dudes are more sensitive, right?
For sure.
I feel like a total puss, and I'm considered more on the bro aggro side.
Yeah. Yeah.
But to the field, I'm saying, right? I'm not hipster. I think hipster emo goes closer to that.
Sure.
Lady side, sensitive. I'm just saying, like, I think I've had more business, like men in business that I've sent info to, and they'll read it in whatever mood they're in.
Yeah.
Usually that's an anger, not anger thing.
Yeah.
That's the dude switch.
I would say dudes just have a more steady mood for the most part.
I think people...
We're going to be the woman hater podcast.
No, I mean, look, I'll give the other side of that. Guys don't give enough detail. So I think that's part of it too.
Yeah, well...
But I think that's
most
taken advantage of too. So it's kind of like I always talk about contracts are only as good as they are tight. That's like kind of a old school kind of, I think, legal logic that I probably ripped off like LA law or something when I was little. But I'm saying like... the more information you give, the more there is to poke holes. Sometimes, so it's like,
well, yeah.
So that's why guys are just like, I'm not going to give you anything.
I'll deal with that later.
We just go.
Sort of thing.
I'm going to pick up Jody from the airport, and they'll read it as like, I'm going to pick up Jody from the airport. Like,
oh, you're just going to pick him up. Huh?
And if I gave a bunch of information, okay, her flight comes in at this and this is it. It'll be like, why didn't you get there at this time?
Yeah.
That's why dudes don't give enough info.
I already did the cost-benefit analysis on it, okay? I just didn't write it out.
I've done that. I've said something like that before.
I believe you 1,000%.
That's where I turn into Asperger's kind of explanation.
Oh, that's where.
Well,
that's okay.
Well, yeah. Is it me or is it nature nurture kind of thing? Have I been kind of has my life gone that way? And maybe I'm too sensitive.
Yeah. We both do that. We write the long over exposition text messages to people.
Well, I used to do it and then put the phone down and not care. And I'm getting back to that. I would just try to do it as like, hey, it's like I'm gonna go into a football game. The phones aren't gonna work. So here's all the information at one time, and then I don't want to look at my phone. It's not a life I want to live.
Yeah.
That screen time pop up on your phones now, where it tells you your average.
Oh, don't get that.
I want to see it because it is like it's not accurate because I'll have things running on other devices. It's like I have our Otter.ai.
Oh well, then it's useless.
No, it's useful. I'm just saying like it does show you like, hey, you spend an average of 7 hours a day on screens or something. You're like,
yeah. Yeah,
that's
no,
low.
I know.
By the way, that's a low for me.
Really? Well, yeah. Oh, on any screen? Yeah.
Yeah, I have it tagged to all my devices.
Yeah.
So it's probably 10, I think, is my average.
Probably. Yeah, I'd probably right there. I mean, yeah.
And that's not.
I don't want to do it. I know that's something that's like
for now
something you don't want to do that you should do.
For now, it just is. It gets easier, right? Eventually, I won't have to do that as much because I'll be dead. No. Eventually, I don't have to. If things go the way they should, you'll have people underneath us, like Joseph, aforementioned producer, that can help take away some of that kind of stuff where you can do more face-to-face stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's the idea.
Yeah. I don't think it's good. It's probably not healthy. And I find if I am too mired in that's why I've been taking my old man walks.
Yeah. Plan those out.
Making sure to take breaks when you get in that development zone for websites and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Design.
You need the mental refresh.
Design is the worst if you find yourself like toggling, like trying to move it just to this little grid spot.
Right. And it could be something that you don't use ever.
Oh,
and it's just like you fall down this hole and it's like, well, I got to get it the way I see it. And then you get it and you're like,
I talk shit to friend of the program, Sean Halter, because they're making another podcast that this studio, the Sweat Lodge studio, because that'll be our entity, I guess, as we go forward to
sweatlodge.studio.
Yeah, to
check it out.
Rent this studio out or consult people that want to start their own podcast. We're going to start having pricing on that site, and we can do video consulting too. So if you're not Tampa Bay, it doesn't matter. Like 60% of our clients, I think, out of like call it 400 people we've consulted, are like not even in the area. Yeah. So we're used to doing telecommunicating kind of stuff.
It gets back to the not needing the office, but
In a way,
is nice.
In a way, but also we use all the buffalo here too.
Yes.
I'll make the other case too per square foot, rent per square foot of this place.
It's really good.
You can't beat it.
The spot that we're in Tampa is right on 7th Avenue in Ybor City. We've got the night parade coming up next Saturday, the Ybor City Gasparilla Night Parade. And we can open our windows and people throw beads in. It's great.
People outside the area, it's like Mardi Gras, but we're all pirate themed here, and that's our deal. There's a big day parade that happened 2 Saturdays. We're doing this on Super Bowl Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Go Rams, I guess.
Yeah, everybody's gonna be rooting for the Rams.
Well, my dad played for the LA Rams, so I'm gonna try to root for them. Yeah. Did I tell you the story? He beat that guy Tommy Smith in a race.
No, Tommy Smith.
You know the black power fist guy?
Okay.
From back in the day.
Was he known for running fast?
He was the fastest sprinter. Like he was like an Olympic sprinter.
Okay. Yeah.
You've seen a clip.
I didn't consider your dad a burner.
He was like Eddie George. He was tall, but he was fast.
Okay.
Deceptively fast.
Tommy Smith looks fast. 6'3", holy hell. Tall guy.
Who?
Tommy Smith.
My dad's 6'4". Ooh, was. I think he shrank.
Big for a running back.
Well, Eddie George 6'3" as well. I always use Eddie George because he used to go to speed camp. Not like crank speed. He didn't go to like the outside of Tennessee and like.
Yeah.
But I always thought that was interesting, and that's kind of maybe that'll dovetail into more business talk. But I always thought that's interesting because you can't really get that much faster.
Yeah, I kind of thought the same thing.
But you can.
You can definitely, yeah, you can marginally. Same with like vertical jumping. Like you can train your muscles, but like the fibers that are making your muscles they're only going to be the proportion that they are. You're not really. You can only tweak your fast twitch muscles fibers so much, improve them so much.
But I think about it this way. Like, I saw that piece on him, like ESPN Sunday Morning Countdown, probably, when did they play, 20 years ago?
What, Tommy Smith?
No. Eddie George.
Eddie
about
George?
Speed Camp.
Uh-huh.
I don't know why it stuck with me, and now I kind of get it, because it's a story of like, hey, he's so dedicated to what he's doing, and he doesn't want to do that.
He's going to race against children over the course of a summer.
He literally all he did was like do speed drills like a sprinter.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have to. He's a running back.
Yeah.
Right?
He
was not
hurt.
This wasn't young Eddie George either.
Mm-hmm.
He'd already won the Heisman, Ohio State, right? So you're already beat up a little bit. Running backs are the most fungible position.
Mm-hmm.
They cycle in and out.
For sure, like 3 years shelf life.
You got it's amazing what like Frank Gore did.
Yeah,
because if he's fourth overall yards, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But quietly did it because I don't think he liked talking to anybody on camera and stuff.
And he's still doing it.
He's done, I think now.
Did he retire this year?
I think he had to because he's banged up.
I don't know. I don't think he announced it. It don't matter.
Well, look, in the NFL, just like corporate employees, you're not going to keep an old guy around as a backup, right?
That's what he did in Miami.
Yeah, but he can't do special. He's not going to do special teams. So, just like you're not going to keep old Gil around in sales, he can't do the intern work.
Sure.
Right.
You know the two metrics that they've actually proven through scientific statistical study that indicate success for a running back that you do at the combine?
Vision?
Well, just like measurables that they do, like the drills that they do.
I thought they did an eye test or something.
Oh, I'm sure they do, but I'm just talking like
the two metrics. Let me try to guess. Got to be side to side, like the eraser shuffle.
Nope.
Okay.
Shuttle drill.
Yeah. Yeah. In PE class,
okay,
you had to put erasers down on the ground?
The only reason I know is because when I was a certified strength and conditioning specialist, they'd send you these.
I forgot about that.
They send you these monthly just sports related scientific studies that you could read, and one of them was like it predicted a success. It wasn't like something that was a direct. It was just like who were these successful running backs and what did they have in common? So it was kind of a retroactive examination. Smith? But before, instead of you trying to guess it, it's believe it's 40 time and vertical jump are the two that can
Really?
yeah, because it indicates explosiveness. Vertical jump. That's gonna like that's the easiest
and
way
that-
to see somebody like their
Wait a
inclination to.
How old is this study?
I don't know. It was only like 10 years ago.
Where did
But I mean, it
10
wasn't.
years is a lot. A lot of I think has happened in the wellness kind of.
Well, it doesn't necessarily have to do with any of that. It just has to do with like what had happened in the past. So they were looking at guys who were successful in the NFL and what characteristics did they have that were standout outliers.
Huh. That's interesting.
I
So
know.
there's a
That's
big
why I said it.
there's a big correlation. You're saying the coefficient of variances.
Well, it's just that those things are, like I said, indicators of explosiveness, and that seems to be the number one driving factor for
So
success.
you're saying that the R squared of that is about 92.92?
Yeah. Should we move on?
I just was looking up all the statistical stuff the other day, so
Oh, yeah? don't really
it
like
makes me
stats.
feel smart to say coefficient of variances. Really, that just means how confident do you think because of the stats you have, you know. And one is deterministic, where you know it's going to happen, A plus B equals C, and then you grade from 0 to 1, basically.
Oh,
So when I
gotcha.
say R squared, R with a little 2 on the top,
I know what that is.
I'm talking to listeners too.
You meant it for me.
No, I'm not. No.
He did.
Regression charts and all that shit. The R squared, I think, is interesting when you're trying to classify like how it just in like a anecdotal way.
Yeah. That's what always fucks with my head was statistics and the like. I don't know why my brain didn't work for actual like college level statistics classes sort of thing.
Yeah, math and business stuff just always clicked, and then anything like you can grammar edit, you can proofread and edit, and I have like that is hard for that. I could do it. It takes me a long time.
Yeah.
I don't know structure of like writing.
Yeah.
I know basic structure, but not like sentence and like.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I accidentally picked it up. I wasn't ever like, I want to learn how to be a good editor. And it's just like, okay, well, I can't stand it when it doesn't sound good.
Well, I mean, it goes back to that APQ test we took. The
Yeah.
Advanced Personality Questionnaire. I was telling someone about this last night at a wedding, and I was like, look, man.
Wedding must have been off the chain.
I get into real talk, man. We get into real talk, all
You want
right?
to talk about my personality questionnaire?
Well, someone was asking me some business questions. Like, he may come in here this week. He wanted to come in here to work out of here. I said, look, surround yourself with entrepreneurial people. It'll help you. That's why. That's a good
callback.
That's
Gets
the
us back
real
on
reason this
task.
office is great, because we give keys to what we call prefer independent contractors. Only really because I want people motivated around.
Yeah.
You can get in your own dome. You can stay at home and work on stuff. Plus, the other thing is you're doing calls, and I have dogs barking or babies
Right,
crying.
yeah. Doorbell ringing.
You don't sound professional, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
plus
John Paul was talking about that the other day, about how the office really helps motivate him. And he's not going to.
And he comes in with some questions. I'm happy to.
Is he sleeping?
He's dry rubbing.
He's not moving.
I'm happy when every time he has a question, I'm happy to tell him what I know about any of it. You know, like it'll get me thinking about that subject too.
Yeah.
And it's not a distraction. It's like good. Otherwise, it might be 3 minutes at home that I'm just like fucking with a coffee maker or something. You know.
Yeah.
I get distracted at home more than here.
Oh, for sure. Well, at home, there's
'Cause you get
there's an
dad mode.
endless, there's an endless stream of stuff to do. I mean, everything's dirty. You
Right.
gotta clean everything.
Right. And you feel like it's a waste of time if you're not like, well, I could do laundry. I just start it and then I'll come back and it's not that much time. And then like you can just do that whenever,
Right.
You know? Like whenever
Yeah.
you're home. There's a weird compartmentalizing too. I want to get to the point where I'm not really taking the laptop home, or I take the laptop home, but only for like emergency
You're
situation.
not planning to work on it when you get home.
Yeah,
sort
I
of
want to
thing.
be able to like have everything over here that's here, and when I'm here, I'm family, like Olive Garden.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to have, when I'm in the office, I want to work eventually, and when I'm home, I just want to be home. Like that's the life I want to get to.
Get bottomless breadsticks up in here.
Yeah,
Do
Olive
that.
Garden. We need a sponsor.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, breadsticks, bring them. We'll put it right over this logo we have on the table.
We want to get paid regularly too, though. Not
In
just
breadsticks?
Not just, well, the breadsticks are part of the
Okay, in
contract.
garlic knots. Gotcha. I'll read you. Affiliate marketing link for garlic knots.
You just don't get it.
Go to olivegarden.com/sweat to get your garlic knots in the mail.
Endless garlic knots.
It's endless, so what you have
Keep
to do
checking
is
that, because if you don't keep checking it, it's just going to get rotten.
they send
and
you a
then-
bowl of garlic knots. You send back the bowl when you're done. It's just endless.
Right.
They're feeding America.
The untied knots.
It's so good.
Mm-hmm.
It's so Olive Garden's so good.
We'll send that. Mark this spot on the tape, please, Jean Paul.
Cut
We'll,
this out?
Cut this part out and send it off to Olive Garden.
We do need a legal disclaimer at the beginning of this show to say anything that could be construed as not a joke.
Yeah.
Technically, everything's under the guise of a comedy podcast.
Everything is a joke,
Yeah,
but it also might be true and helpful.
I think after this we'll record the ads that we never do pre-roll for,
And maybe we'll do that.
and I'll use my email disclaimer as our disclaimer.
God, that thing, it's like 4,000 words.
Do you know why it's long?
Why?
Because
Why do you always want people to sign creepy documents?
I've been waiting to use that one.
wow. Some of these.
That's a good.
First off, I'm getting you a keyboard. I'm getting you a separate
I'm not
keyboard.
gonna use it.
Yeah, that's some good passive aggressive.
Yeah, give me a keyboard. Give me the best
I'm
they
gonna
got.
give you a little like
Top of the line.
one of those ones they used to have on the side for numbers. I'm gonna hack it to.
So I can just sit there.
No. I want you to feel it like Braille, so you know your soundboard, and we can put little pictures on there.
I don't need it. Why? What's wrong with the
Because
soundboard?
I could see you like you putting your finger over it like you're playing Battleship or something.
I'm still
And
gonna do that. Like, it has nothing to do with it.
I bet if I made a color-coded keyboard that's a USB, just boop, put it in, color-coded, I bet it would work better for you.
I'll bet.
Or we're going to have a soundboard off. I'll make my own keyboard.
Do it. That'd be great. Double the sound effects.
I'm talking a big game. I won't do it.
I know.
Yeah. So communication.
Okay.
Back to that a little bit, because that's kind of where I thought we were going with this episode.
Yeah, no. It's all
Well,
a
we're
little
not-
off the rails, but
No.
we're freestyling today.
This is a hang sesh, whatever we want to call it. No guest and just kind of shooting the shit.
Yeah, it's been a minute since we had a guest. Like 5 in a row. Something like that.
We got some.
We got people lined
We're trying
up.
to get Bert Kreischer and Dave Williamson in here.
Ooh, public shaming, guilt trip.
They're not listening.
Are you sure?
Probably not. They're on tour, the Body Shots tour, so they're probably not listening. Maybe we get Louis C.K. because he's coming to Tampa next weekend.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's weird.
Ugh.
I want to know more about that. It broke yesterday, as I guess the booking happened.
Yeah.
So-
I mean, wait, that's weird that he booked it that close.
Well, if you're him,
and that they were available.
if you're him, it's smart to be working on your set because every time he goes to does shit in New York, there's something written up about him from someone.
Yeah.
And they're like the media apparently is like asking audience members to give their synopsis. So you're hearing like hearsay basically.
Yeah.
Plus, like audience members after a show do not remember anything. If they come into it and they're mad that he's there, like if their arms folded the whole time, you're gonna get that slant. And if it's someone who just enjoys his stand up, you're gonna get someone who can't remember what he said.
It's just like the texting.
People try to tell me jokes from seeing like someone. It's like they
Oh,
get
don't
3
do-
words in, and it's like
You had to be there. It was good. You had to
He
be
does it
there.
better.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, but that's just like us texting and over explaining with the mood. What mood are you in? That, it switches thing. It warps it.
Here we need some pragmatic sound drop, like pragmatic. Try to make pragmatic like as
Make it cool.
opposite as it could be. Here's the pragmatic advice I'd say. What I've started doing, and I used to do this a little bit better. It used to probably annoy you. It's easier for me to send the message though. I use the Clips app if you have an iPhone.
Yeah.
And I could record we do a lot of design work. Everything we're working on has a lot of element of design, or strategy. Those two things are really hard to articulate unless you have some like set parameters that you know exactly what I'm talking about. But I can project manage. You can project manage a graphic designer, but it's still like we'll have to get the technical terms down to send it to them, an email, something like that. So what I do is I send an email with that stuff to like a graphic designer, but I also send the video of me trying to explain it too.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's like, I don't know what this is. I don't even know how to Google. Like, this thing needs to be over this thing.
Yeah.
And, like, it needs to be lighter.
Yeah, you can't Google put this thing over this thing.
Well, you just have no frame of reference for the whole area, right? For the whole, like, industry, essentially.
Yeah.
And then strategy's like, strategy does have, like a standardized term of doing stuff. So if you ever look at flowcharts, it'll be like, you make this triangle, that goes to a square, it goes to a circle. Those all mean something.
Forms a dick.
Eventually. All our stuff does.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I got to think
You've been working on that pussy one. That's pretty exciting.
Oh, the model. Yeah. Oh, wait, no, the business model.
Business model.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to still work on...
Did you come in it?
Possibly work on a new podcast recording table that secretly has 3 like round bulbs. Think of the Last Supper table, and then
as a dick,
just the shaft, and then you have 3 circles that could go on it.
Why 3?
Well,
what are you dealing with?
2 balls in a wiener head.
Oh, the wiener head.
Yeah,
gotcha.
That tie on to here, and then we never acknowledge that it looks like a wiener.
Except for right now.
Kind of like the tie icon we have, logo, the insignia for this podcast.
So we call it a dick tie. We kind of are acknowledging it pretty obviously.
We got to make the t-shirt, the dick tie t-shirt.
Yeah. Were you thinking that the dick comes all the way down the shirt like you're wearing the tie?
Like a tuxedo shirt.
Okay.
Because it's going to be too hard to make an actual tie.
Well, yeah.
Because you'd have to like get a different style of tie made.
No,
altogether.
Yeah, you'd be creating a new kind of tie.
We're have to patent that. I want to go on Bonfire and just make something.
Okay.
You know, but I think we got to round it off. We're squared up on those nuts.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know what you're going for, the collar.
Yeah, but they might be too on the nose or on the dick.
Dick nose?
A little on the dick, don't you think?
Would you rather have a dick for a nose or balls for ears?
Oh, balls for ears.
You sure?
You can. I could grow my hair out. Put it under a hat.
You can? And the hair doesn't grow out from these magical powers.
It won't be good hair.
Okay.
It'll just be... I got balls to cover up, bro.
But think about this
I'd rather people be looking at my bad hair than my ear
this
nuts.
This is a great hypothetical. No one chooses... I went dick for nose, but no one chooses that.
Well, that's because it's right in the front of your face. You can't hide that.
You can't hide balls on your ears.
I just told you how I would.
How would you do it?
Grow my hair out.
You can't
wear a wig.
If anybody's watching video, you're not fooling anybody.
I can grow enough to like whip it
style?
around. I could do a comb over gimmick, like bald guys used to do.
We're talking a year and a half before you even get to that, and
Fine.
then you look dumb.
Okay, and then my worries about my ear nuts are done. You have a dick
but they
for
get
a nose
longer
for the rest
as
of
you
your...
get older.
So does your dick nose.
Perfect. That's advantage. Advantage. Dick
You're fucking with the okay.
Yeah.
So now you wanted a second dick.
What happens when you sneeze, buddy? That's gonna be trouble.
Did you come in it?
But
that's what happens.
That's a good. If you're at a dinner party and things are getting a little stagnant, that's a great question.
Yeah, it really breaks the ice.
Because everybody chooses balls for ears, so I already have the dick for nose sneeze joke ready to go.
I love the question.
It's
we forgot you were there.
Who said that?
We didn't know we were recording.
I think a dick nose is more useful.
If you're more utility based person, more Nick Sabans of the world.
Yes.
You probably would go for. And plus, they're the elephants. Makes sense.
Oh yeah, the Crimson Tide Elephants.
Yeah, whatever that means.
Stupid name.
Identity. Well, I can't make fun of Auburn's got 3 mascots. So communication. I think it's important. We do proposals. I like to send a video with it because it is a lot of stuff. It's a lot to keep up with. What we were talking about before we got on air is maybe having this evergreen content when we send a proposal that they can look at. Here's what the marketing funnel means. Here's what content means. Here's how we see it. Here's our totem pole model. Very close to making this a real thing. Here's how, pretty close. I look like John Gruden on crack trying to figure this out when people walk in. I'm like, I got it.
So close.
X logo, right. Slot receiver goes X out.
Good totem pole, man.
It's a good. I can't even do it. That's pretty good, though.
Thanks.
Yeah, you've been
I
working.
really no. I'm just naturally
You've been watching
good.
a lot of Frank Caliendo.
Little, Jay Gruden.
So
Talks the same way.
pragmatic advice is try to send. I try to send important messages in a couple of ways because the user wants it maybe in text form. Maybe they can't look at a video. Maybe they only want to listen to audio because they're doing something like stuff around the house or
A video
driving.
could be more broad, and it can say, drill down to this part of the proposal if you want to look there or something, or you can hit the bullet points.
Make it so that they can absorb it in whatever medium they can absorb it in. So in a way, I want to do that way so it's not my fault that they can't watch a video and then they never got back to it.
Right.
Because you get a lot of that. So what you do with the Clips app is if you have an important message, send it. Then you get the transcript of that, copy and paste it. I throw it in Evernote.
I want to check it on that grammar.
Well, you go back, you can edit it.
Mm-hmm.
I just usually don't for you because you know what I'm saying.
Yes.
And you'll probably watch the video more times than the transcript.
Yeah.
Read the transcript.
Well, whatever's convenient at the time, but
Right.
that's why you do it in multiple forms.
Right. And the video is also audio, technically.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't.
That's the 2-minute warning.
Perfect.
Videos also audio. Finish your thought.
Yeah, and then I was telling a friend of the program, Damien Alpazar, because he's doing this for his proposals. I think on Vimeo, because we have live stream Vimeo Premium, because
Diamond Platinum Club.
whatever the best one is for the year, I think you can embed for the e-learning stuff, interactive video stuff they have. I want to put like a secret password that
Of course.
to tell you. I want to know if they watched the whole thing.
Uh-huh.
Right? So you go to move on, you got to put it, and then you put banana hammock as the password,
Sure.
and you change it up all the time.
Lemon Party.
.org.
.org. Check it out.
Tubgirl.com. Something like that, but you put it in as the password to get to the next section or something.
Yeah.
We're trying to figure out these things that we can do a one-way message, and then we know on the other side that they're actually looking at it
Yeah.
without having the fucking their laptop camera pop on to see them watching this, us, you know.
Oh, God.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, we want to be able to have people digest a message the way they want to, but also we want to make sure the quality of their listening was there without annoying them too much.
Yeah, that's a tough one. The secret word is probably the best bet at this point.
It's a thought. If anybody has any ideas, I'm all ears. I think this is definitely a work in progress kind of thing that I hope we'll follow up with later down the line.
Yeah.
But thanks for listening.
What about my sweat equity?
iTunes, Spotify.
SweatEquityPod.com.
Hit us with any questions. Hit a question in the reviews. Rate, review, 5-star that shit. Ask a question. We'll probably answer it on air. iTunes first, then everything else.
Then everything else.
What about my sweat
Bye-bye.
equity?